big red button has been pressed.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our weekly update for contributor experience, a special interest group inside of the vast Kubernetes landscape. My name is Paris. I work at Google. I'm a community manager here. And today we will have our usual show. And that comprises of both a intro, a project board update, as well as a little bit of an open mic event session, discussion session, however we would like to frame it. So first things first, we do have a code of conduct, so please be excellent to each other. If anybody would like to read the code of conduct, that is inside of the community repo. And if there are any new contributors on the line that would like to introduce themselves, you can speak now or forever hold your peace. It's definitely not required. But if you've never joined our call before and would like to have a quick couple of seconds, feel free to interrupt me at any time. Any new contributors on the line that would like to introduce themselves? Hi, Deep.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi. Thanks, Paris, for earlier today. The suggestions you got me about how to start contributing in the previous call, they were really helpful. So thank you so much for that. And I'm just joining the community. I've been using Kubernetes at work for a while, for about 6 to 8 months. I'm really impressed by the kind of progress that the community has made and the overall project that community is delivering. We are a big user of Kubernetes. Our company works because of Kubernetes today. And so I want to get my hands dirty with some contributions. I really look forward to contributing and getting to know you all much better and talking to you on PRs and other stuff. So thank you so much and super excited to meet you all.
Oh, that's so great, Deep. Welcome to Kubernetes. Lots of welcome messages in chat too. And we can definitely get you started. A lot of people on this call right now have actually started contributing to Kubernetes, especially the code base through contributor experience, through helping out other contributors. You have a fresh mindset where a bunch of us have been on the project for a while and we don't necessarily see holes and gaps in our contributor documentation. So definitely as you get ramped up, feel free to poke holes in anything you see, okay?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Is there anybody else on the line? I think we see mostly regular folks. All right, let's get on with our show. First things first, we do run 3 programs regularly. That's the Thursday community meeting. That is our monthly user office hours session. And then the third is Meet Our Contributors, which is going off today. Our first session already went off. And then this afternoon is the steering committee session. Do we have any issues with any of the 3 programs as it stands right now? Do we have a host for tomorrow? Is everything good for tomorrow as it relates to community meeting?
As far as I know, yes. I'm the host for tomorrow, and it should be super short besides the retro. You are going over the election results tomorrow, correct?
That is correct. Or George or one of us will definitely be on the line for you.
Awesome, because I think that's pretty much it. Shoutouts and election results, and then retro.
Awesome. And Deep, just for your knowledge, every Thursday we have a community meeting that happens at 10 a.m. Pacific, and that goes live on YouTube as well, so you don't necessarily need to join the call to listen in. And that's our SIGs giving updates, and that's where you can also hear if they need new contributors and things like that. For Meet Our Contributors, For Meet Our Contributors, I will put a call out for help. We do have a couple of holes in the next couple of months. Nothing that's alarming by any means, but we do have 1 or 2 slots for most sessions. So if anybody on the line would like to be a mentor and help out, or if you're a part of another SIG that needs a certain type of contributor, this is an awesome way to promote that because we have new and current contributors that listen on this call. And that's it for me for our program updates. Next, I wanted to just go over the project board very briefly. This isn't necessarily something that I want us to go into in depth, in especially details on this call, since we only have an hour, and you can clearly see that we have enough projects to talk about for probably the next two at least update meetings. So where I wanted to start was the blocked column, and I believe Aaron, you put some cards there yesterday that you're currently blocked on. Did you want to give us an update and see how we can help?
Yes, I'm blocked on two things. So again, it's the wrong screen. I swear, I'll get this right one of these days. Second screen. Cool. All right, hey, we're looking at our awesome project board. The first blocked item was here last week and we discussed it. It's the idea that we want to remove write access from Kubernetes to get things done. It's a long trail of woe. I updated its status after we talked last week to say it remains blocked because of these things. There is no way I'm getting to this in the recent future. Unless anybody here has cycles to spend on this, I'd like to propose punting this to the backlog, because it's blocked because of just lack of resources. No objections, I will do that after this. Next thing, Matt Hicks, the same guy who was responsible for the awesome sauce that is per repo labels from the label sync tool and a number of other things, has put forth a proposal to change our use of, maybe I'll just do it this way, to change our use of OK to test and needs OK to test. The state of today is that a needs OK to test label is automatically applied to any pull request that comes from a non-trusted member, and it requires a trusted member to issue a /OK to test command, which will then remove that label. This is weird because it's kind of the opposite of the way many of our other labels work, such as applying /LGTM to say a PR looks good to them, instead of the inverse of like, this PR doesn't have an LGTM. The thought is by inverting this label relationship, it'll make it clear when a PR is truly OK to test, because over the past couple of years, we've had these random cases where a pull request will have its jobs run for whatever reason, but then it still has the like needs OK to test label, and /retest doesn't work. So we're hoping that by applying a green label that says, yes, this PR is OK to test, it's a more explicit confirmation, it'll be a better contributor experience for everybody involved. I wasn't around for the original discussion of this, but I believe most of the discussion on it has gone through in SIG testing, so I just wanted to run this through SIG contributor experience. I believe I saw in the comment trail that Christoph was largely in favor of this, so maybe you have already talked about this. But if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, please drop them in this pull request. Otherwise, I'm going to remove the hold and go pinging for LGTMs later today. That's all that I have in the blocked column. Thank you.
On that last one, is there a set of links to things that people have discovered for documentation that needs updated?
That is a really good question. I'm not sure. So the merging of that PR won't magically make that thing happen. That's more this person is piloting this change through KEP. So this is their description of the plan, and if you find they're missing that step in the plan, I think that would be a great comment to add to the PR. Back to you, Paris.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions, concerns, or comments for any of the blockers that Aaron's facing right now? All right. Okay. So I wanted to see if anybody wanted to stand up with anything that is currently in progress right now that you have updates with that you wanted to address to us and or ask for feedback or help. That would include folks from either the non-code contributor guide update. That would also include Christoph if he's on for GitHub management. And also include me for steering committee stuff, election stuff, and communication stuff. Oh, and Elsie too. You have a card in there for DevStats. Does anybody want to stand up with any progress that they're having on any of this?
I can go first.
Okay.
So regarding the non-code contributions, last week I asked for just a final sign off on the letter that we're going to send out to the SIG leads. So if you want to provide us with that today, Paris, that'd be great. We also have a blog post that is going to be pushed out this week as well. Me, Noah, and Ihor were finalizing that. I'm hoping that it's going to be finalized today, so we can push it out.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments for Jonas and team doing non-code stuff? All right. Does anybody else want to stand up from a, thank you so much, Jonas, and I swear on my life I will get to that, by the way, today.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to stand up that I called out that is currently in progress for any one of those projects?
I still need to reach out to Lucas to work on getting that README updated.
Okay, cool. All right. And everybody doesn't know that's for, we're going to do a DevStats README in the community repo so folks know what they're looking at.
Good, because that kind of ties into SubProject Details and SIG-CML. DevStats is one of the few projects that's not following our accepted format, where a subproject is considered to be a thing that subproject is code somewhere in the myriad Kubernetes repos that we have, and DevStats currently doesn't have code in there. So a document that describes our involvement and use of DevStats is literally all we need to justify the existence of DevStats as a subproject of contributor experience.
And we are working on that. Can I see some air? All right, it's in progress.
So SubProject Details in SIG-CML, Stephen Augustus put forth a PR that would maybe add things like contacts for subprojects, but I'm putting the brakes on that until I've had a chance to discuss this with Brian Grant in the context of the steering committee. And if we can't get that done, I'm bringing it up as a topic in SIG architecture tomorrow to better understand what will meet the intent of subprojects while making them useful to use.
Awesome, thank you.
Speaking about DevStats, I recently created a presentation about DevStats. It's some kind of internal presentation. I will need it to present to one guy, which I'll be speaking with. But it contains a lot of general information and architecture details and so on. I just pasted the link in the chat.
That's awesome, Lucas. I'll take a look at that. I just skimmed it and it looks good. So we can definitely like hotlink something like that on the README.
Okay, it's already added on the GitHub. So it's just, by the way, for your information, if you would like to take a look, then just go.
Cool, thank you. And as always, thanks for all your help with DevStats.
I actually have a question regarding the DevStats. We're looking to use this for another CNCF project, the Harbor project that was recently added into the sandbox, and I'm kind of wondering how to pull out information from it. I understand that we have all the data in there, but what are some good visualizations? What are some good sets of information that we get out of DevStats that you're using for other projects? So I would like to, do we have documentation around that, like a few good ones?
Well, for the remaining CNCF projects, so not a Kubernetes, we have a standard fixed set of dashboards that is implemented for every single new project that is added. There is a bit of documentation that can be found from the main README, and there is a standard set of our dashboards. So you can take a look at harbor.devstat.cncf.io. If you need specific dashboards or anything else, you just need to create an issue on the DevStats, and I will implement another dashboards. The other approach for this is there is a DevStats example repository. That's as the name suggests, it's an example implementation of a DevStats, the simplest possible implementation for a single project, and the homebrew was used as an example. But there is also a documentation how to change this into any project you want. The only requirement is that a project needs to have some repositories on GitHub.
Okay.
So reach out for me if you have any questions, but just take a look on the link I passed in the chat. I will also send you a link to DevStats example.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I see Elsie is working on something here as well.
Another source of information might be taking a look at, although some of these might be Kubernetes specific, the graphs we've presented to the Kubernetes community in the past have generally been selected to be like really obvious, actionable graphs that can tell a pretty clear story. So you might find some good ones there.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And we're going to put some of the stuff we regularly look at on Elsie's recommendation list so that you can see kind of like what we care about, if you will. I mean, we care about all of it, but it's a lot of dashboards, so I understand where you're coming from. All right. Anybody else want to stand up before I stand up regarding steering committee stuff and communication stuff and the like? Last call to stand up for in progress.
One thing that I just wanted to bring up, talking with also on GitHub Administration, I mentioned last meeting that we have Parabolos up and running to do all the org invites. We're now at a point where I've been able to write and merge some documentation on like what the human component of that process is, the things that a human needs to do to guide a prospective new member through that process. And we're looking at being able to delegate that job out, because that now that it's just PRs on a repo, you no longer need special secret GitHub owner permissions to invite people to the org. So that I'll probably be looking at posting an ad once I get the kind of the draft of the ad reviewed. I'm going to send that out to ContribEX and put something up on the contributor job board. We're probably looking for 1 to 2 people to kind of help out, basically looping through that the queue on Kubernetes/org for the new member requests that come in, and going through the steps, and then opening up a PR to get them added. So yeah, look out for that. Probably out to the mailing list within the next day or so.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I am super excited about all the work that Christoph's and team is doing. So thanks a ton for all of your efforts, Christoph. All right. So I'm going to stand up about a couple of things. First things first, steering committee election ends today, y'all. Woo! I'm super pumped about that. If you are listening to this, either recording or otherwise, please vote if you are an eligible voter. If you do not know already where to find the eligible voter list, it's voters.md. If you search within the community repo, it's under the events, which is ultimately under the elections. The results will be announced tomorrow at the community meeting, which is Thursday, October 4th, by a steering committee member that is TBD. So I'm working on some announcement stuff today. I'm also working on making sure that we have all of the final reminders out, and then we close the poll at 6 p.m. Pacific sharp. And that's it for us with the election stuff. As far as contributor experience is concerned, then steering committee will take the wheel for the rest. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments about the election? All right, we'll also publish some data and it'll be fun. So that's it for steering committee stuff. So we'll wrap that up this week. Woo! And then communication platform stuff. We are super underway with the humongous issue that is communication and collaboration platform sprawl assessment. This is making sure that we are using all of the right communication platforms for the right things and producing artifacts accordingly. Those artifacts are going to be like a communication roadmap of Kubernetes, where to go for what, how, who, and why. I definitely still need help with that. I know Arnold, who is on the line right now, has been doing an awesome job chopping wood, carrying water. You can't really chop water unless you're a surfer, I guess. But we've been doing a lot of data entry, and I know that does not sound awesome. So that's why I think it's great that he's been helping me out. But if you'd like to help out with that, that's just pretty much us doing an inventory of the humongous sprawl we have, who owns what, why, so that if we would like to centralize these things, that we know exactly who to go to, where to go to, and why. The second piece of that issue is the survey, like who is using what, why, and how, so we can pair that up with the inventory to start looking at solutions and making solutions. The survey update is I officially have the raw data. Yeah, data. We had about, I think it's like 160 some survey respondents, but we did have only, I'd say, 130 of those complete the whole entire survey. So we have about 30 respondents who only selected so many, but we ended up turning off a lot of the required questions. So that's why some of the data is not there. But we have a ton of the data. And right now I'm just sanitizing it because people did leave email addresses and other personal identifiable information so that we could reach out to them. And then once that is taken out of the data, I will publish the raw data and you can do what you wish with it. There are tons of stories that can be drawn from this. It is an awesome, awesome survey. So I'm really excited to dig into this. I will give you a quick data point. Does anybody want to guess the most popular? Well, I'm sorry, it technically wasn't popularity. It was based off of most usefulness. Does anybody want to guess what was the most useful section of the Thursday community meeting? No?
SIG updates?
Nope.
Shoutouts.
Yeah.
Well, what did Lucas say?
Shout outs.
Demo.
Nope. Release updates, y'all. Yeah, release updates. You didn't win by much. Everybody said that most things are useful. So
See, over the last quarter, I'd come to decide that nobody was listening to that part.
No, I think that's actually, people think it's super useful to get that quick 30-second to 1 minute information about release. So I think that's a section that we should continue to finesse in the community meeting because clearly people are getting a lot out of it.
Quick follow-up to that, actually. It's also the release thread is the most popular thing on Discuss.
Yeah, and you're very popular in Slack as well. So shouts to the release team for being a artery of information. So yeah, we can definitely draw other stories out from that too, like who thought it was even more useful, new contributors or current contributors, stuff like that. Josh, I know, is a data head. So Josh, you can have the raw data as soon as I am done with it. And anybody else that would like to whip up pre-graphs, feel free. So that's my stand up for communication stuff, aka A, we're still looking for more people, and B, we are progressing along nicely. Any questions, concerns, comments about our communication platform Toil? All right, cool. All right, so for those that are looking for issues to work on or places to help, there are tons of help wanted and good first issue labels on our project board. So feel free to dig into any of those. Just announce on the thread that you'd like either help or that you are working on it, and we will gladly take it. All right, so let's move to the open mic. It looks like, Gwen, you have the first item on the open mic. Did you want to tell everybody a little bit about what you are looking for and your idea?
Yeah, so actually, technically, this is not my idea. One of the attendees at the new contributor workshop at KubeCon in Copenhagen said that a really great addition to the workshop would be if we could, she called it a speed dating session. I don't know if speed dating is the right word for this, but basically a meetup between SIGs and new contributors. The reason I don't want to say speed dating is because at this point, I want to do it at the end of the workshop when people kind of knew what SIGs are and where to find the SIGs that they might be interested in working with. And since there should be a lot of representatives for the regular contributor workshop, I shouldn't say regular either, for the current contributor summit, it would be amazing if we could have, like, I don't know, tables where it says, this is SIG testing, this is like SIG, Federation, or I don't remember what it's called now. And then new contributors who have by now been like spending several hours thinking about how they might want to contribute can go and find people from those SIGs and actually talk to humans and get some direct mentoring since we're already all in the same place. So I need some volunteers from the SIGs, and I was just kind of wondering where this falls into, if this is kind of a sub-issue of events or a sub-issue of mentoring, and I just kind of want to open an issue and have people drop their names in there.
I think you should make it an issue for events and do you can do area community management, and then I would set the issue as like needs volunteers for this thing. And then what we can do is we can socialize it within the SIG leads, and then maybe get each one of them to like assign someone or bring someone or something along those lines, especially if they're ones that we know that have help wanted labels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know Node's looking for more reviewers and approvers. So, I mean, they could be someone that we could do.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be SIGs either. Or I mean, it could be sub-projects, right? So what I did last KubeCon, I basically just told everyone I met, hi, I want to have some technical issues to work on. And then Phil Whitrock from SIG CLI was like, oh, we have this new tool. Do you want to contribute? And I got to work on some help wanted or good first issues. And it was awesome. It was really, really great. And I just kind of want that to be there for everybody.
Yeah.
Formalize it. Do you want that to be an issue on the project board as well? Like
I would just because we're looking right now. You were looking for both SIGs / sub-project support as well as volunteers to help you.
Okay.
So that'll be a good place to poke people when we're advertising for the help to get more information. So just pretty much kind of like do a knowledge dump in the issue with what you just talked about. Like we're looking for XYZ because of XYZ. Mm-hmm. And then we can track it too in the Monday Contributor Summit project. Okay,
great. Right, I already added a line in there, and you can just link the issue. Exactly. What I mean is the ContribEX project board. Should I just add it to that as well?
Yeah, okay. Add it to that. Yeah, awesome. And then we can track it and get help for you until we go.
Cool.
Anybody have any questions, concerns, or would like to help out Gwyn for this project? All right. I guess on that same note, if anybody would like to help out with Contributor Summit stuff, Josh, I don't know if you need anything for Shanghai, but for Seattle, we will need some on-site support. And I think Noah's on the line right now. Noah's going to be managing a sort of staff ambassador thing for us because we're going to have a lot of rooms. Those rooms are going to need to be kept on time, especially the ones that have open discussions. So if anybody would like to help out with that and get a staff t-shirt, please just speak up or forever hold your peace. That's pretty much it for Contributor Summit. Josh, do you need any help for Shanghai?
Not from this meeting. We have a pretty good team for Shanghai.
Okay, cool. All right. And does anybody else have any open discussions today? If not, we get 30 minutes back. Oh, I love this. This is my goal, y'all. Every week, either 30-minute meeting, and then we can go to like office hours every other week or something. Yeah, look at this. We're meeting reduction. Yeah, I know. I want us to like teach all of the SIGs.
I guess one heads up I'll give y'all is that I think the automation that we've rolled out to every Kubernetes repo and like Kubernetes and Kubernetes SIGs and Kubernetes client is coming to Kubernetes Incubator real soon now. There were a couple repos that had outlier configs that I will be chatting with. By the way, was this meeting recorded? I just noticed the little like red dot wasn't up there.
Yeah, Jeff's streaming it right now to YouTube.
Awesome.
You're streaming live.
Yay! So shout out to the maintainers of Kube Arbitrator and BootKube. They were willing to change their configs to make this really easy, so I will be notifying KDev about this shortly.
Put that in the shout out channel too, so we can do that for the meeting tomorrow.
I will.
All right.
And once again, please, 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 pretty please vote. Doesn't have to be for me, but just make sure you vote if you can.
Yes, vote. Rock the Kubernetes vote. All right, that's it for me. If y'all want to stay and shoot the rocks with me, feel free. Otherwise, hang up, and I will see you here same time, same place next week.